Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today's April 18th, 2023. And I'm going to show you signs of the prophet Jonas. If this doesn't line up to the sign of Jonas, then I am not Steve Fletcher, a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Between the two great American eclipses of August 21st, 2017 and April 8th, 2024, the exact middle day was the first vaccine in the United States, a sign for America, December 14th, 2020. On December 14th, 2020, there was also another total solar eclipse over South America. 3 eclipses all over America. And the middle day was the first vaccine. From the last hybrid eclipse, November 3rd, 2013, to April 20th, 2023, the hybrid eclipse that's going to be happening tomorrow and Thursday, the middle point was the super blood moon over Jerusalem of July 27th and July 28th, 2018. 1,727 days in between to the middle point. July 27th is 727. A double sign of 727. Greek 727 is a sudden snatching, and Hebrew 727 is ark. The super blood moon over Jerusalem was the longest blood moon of the century, and it was on Israel's day of weddings, Tu B'Av. Going from the super blood moon over Jerusalem of July 28th, 2018 to the hybrid solar eclipse of April 20th, 2023, the midday was December 8th, 2020, the first COVID vaccination in the world, in the United Kingdom. The middle point of these 2 eclipses was the first global vaccine, a sign for the world. And this is all explained here in the 1,727 days between eclipses. The midday was December 8th, 2020, the first worldwide vaccine, a sign for the world. This is new information that I have not shared in a previous video. This is confirming the sign of Jonah 100%. From the solar eclipse of June 10th, 2021, where on the very next day a man was swallowed by a whale, to April 20th, 2023, the hybrid solar eclipse that is in the constellation of Pisces and Cetus, the sea beast and the sea whale. The middle day was the total lunar eclipse of May 15th and May 16th, 2022. This was Israel's 74th birthday. The 70 years of Israel plus the 4-year delay of the fig tree. Exactly. And this is the midpoint of the 2 Jonah eclipses. And this is fully explained here, that from June 10th, 2021 to the total lunar eclipse of May 15th and May 16th, it's 340 days. And then going from May 15th, 2022 340 days, it brings us to the hybrid solar eclipse of April 20th, 2023. And the total lunar eclipse was May 15th and May 16th of 2022. The midday of the sign of Jonah. On June 24th, 2021, there was another sign of Jonah. Jonah Handler was pulled from the rubble from a Miami condominium, and this was a Jewish community. So Jonah was a Jew pulled out of the rubble on June 24th, 2021. 666 days to April 20th, 2023. The hybrid solar eclipse in Pisces and Cetus, which is the sea beast and the whale. The sign of Jonah plus 666 days to the final sign of Jonah on April 20th, 2023. The first hybrid eclipse of November 3rd, 2013 went exactly over the village of Barack Obama. Barack Obama was born in Kenya on August 4th, 1961, the 216th day of the year. And the eclipse that went over the exact village of Obama's birthplace, over his village, the eclipse time was 2 hours and 16 minutes. Just as Obama was born on the 216th day of the year, the eclipse time was also 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6. The eclipse of April 20th, 2023 is going over Australia, and Barack Obama was just in Australia. From start to finish, everything is showing Barack Obama. From the hybrid solar eclipse of November 3rd, 2013 to the hybrid solar eclipse of April 20th, 2023, 3,456 days. 3456 means to be desolate. From the Revelation 12 sign, September 23rd, 2017 to April 20th, 2023, 2,035 days. 2,035 means to overthrow, destruction, or ruin. We just shared with you that from eclipse to eclipse, 3456 means to be desolate. This is the same exact meaning from the Revelation 12 sign. 2,035 days. Destruction, ruin, overthrow, and desolation. In the Hebrew, 2,035 means 7,000. And this is the number of the remnant of God, of those who had not bowed their knee to Baal. 7,000 that God has reserved for himself. This is the remnant of God, 2,035. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. There shall be no sign given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. The hybrid solar eclipse of April 20th, 2023, the sign of the prophet Jonas. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. We're about 30 minutes away here. We got two different live streams that are showing the eclipse, so we'll be able to see it from a couple different perspectives, and we'll see what they do with their audio as well and all of that. My wife came in, and you saw her come in, and she's on her way to church, and she said, if I don't see you later tonight, I'll see you in heaven. I'll either see you later tonight or I'll see you in heaven. So, and she said, you might not recognize me in heaven. I'm sure we'll recognize each other in heaven. Although we won't be husband and wife in heaven anymore. Because in heaven there's no marriage. We're all married to our Lord Jesus Christ. How are you all doing tonight? Everything coming good through on the audio here? Should I do the background music again? Keep the background music on? See what we got going on here. In the news. Always some type of danger going on here. Red alert. Offutt Air Force Base locked down after unknown emergency. April 19th, 30 years ago today, the Waco disaster. Oklahoma City bombing was also April 19th. Really, if you think about it, April 19th and April 20th are really the beginning of their high satanic Sabbath leading up to May Day. There's always 13 days, 4 times a year they have on the satanic calendar. That's why April 19th and 20th are always full of disasters all the time. And so that's part of why there's been so many disasters in history on April 19th and April 20th. I think they're lining everything up now. They're getting ready to line everything up for the eclipse here. I think I'll just turn off this other one. See what they're going to be doing on there. Oh, wow. CDC approves new booster shots. Who's eligible and when can they get it? Okay. Who cares? Okay, I'm going to walk through something here that I had shown a few days ago. Let's go to John chapter 20. And I want to show you where we are in the last gospel. Where does the last gospel end? John 20 starts on the day of the resurrection, first day of the week, Nisan 17. It goes on in verse 19. It says, then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut. This is still Nisan 17. This is Nisan 17, the day of the resurrection. And then it goes on. In verse 26, in John 20, verse 26, it says, after 8 days, his disciples were again inside, and Thomas with them. Okay, so after 8 days, if we were looking at Nisan 17, then a week later would be Nisan 24. 8 days inclusive would be the same day the following week. So 8 days later would be the Sunday of the following week. His disciples were again inside, and Thomas with them. Jesus came, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, peace to you. Then he said to Thomas, reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing. Thomas answered and said to him, my Lord and my God. Jesus said to him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Truly, Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book, but these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name. Okay. Now, that all happened on Nisan 24, a week after the resurrection. Now we're going to go into John 21. Okay. And it says, after these things. Okay, we don't know how much of a difference there was after these things. But from Nisan 24, where John 20 ended off, we're really, really close. Whether it's the same day or just a few days or the following week, but it's not, it doesn't seem like it's a long period after that. It's a continuation. It doesn't give us an exact time frame, but it's a continuation. So we were watching Nisan 24, which on the Hebrew calendar and the Torah calendar was April 15th and 16th. Okay, now we're coming up on April 19th and April 20th, the solar eclipse. Where's the location of the solar eclipse? It's in the fish, Pisces, and it's in the fish, Cetus, the whale. Okay, and so this is where the story of John chapter 21 is just after Nisan 24, after these things. And then here comes the big fish. Here comes the big catch of fish. Right after the Passover time frame, Nisan 24, and then you've got an undetermined amount of time. It says after these things. So let's read together. After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. And in this way he showed himself. Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two others of his disciples were together. Simon Peter said to them, I am going fishing. How many of you have ever felt like that? Just to go back to what you were doing before because it all seems like a lost cause. They said to him, we are going with you also. They went out and immediately got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing. But when the morning had now come, Jesus stood on the shore, Yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. So it wasn't the first night. It wasn't the first night. It was the next morning, the big fish, okay? They went out at night and they caught nothing. And it was in the morning that they caught the big catch of fish. They said to him, "We're going with you also." They went out immediately, got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing. But when the morning had now come, Jesus stood on the shore, yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Then Jesus said to them, "Children, have you any food?" They answered him, "No." And he said to them, "Cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." So they cast, and now they were not able to draw it in because of the multitude of the fish. Therefore that disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." Now when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he had removed it, and plunged into the sea. But the other disciples came in the little boat, for they were not far from land, about 200 cubits, dragging the net with fish. Then as soon as they had come to land, they saw a fire of coals there, and fish laid on it, and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish which you have just caught." Simon Peter went up and dragged the net to land full of large fish, 153. And although there were so many, the net was not broken. Jesus said to them, "Come and eat breakfast." Yet none of the disciples dared ask him, "Who are you?" knowing that it was the Lord. Jesus then came and took the bread and gave it to them, and likewise the fish. Okay? So this is a very prophetic passage of scripture that many people look at and are expecting and waiting for the great catch of fish, and this is connected to the rapture of the church. And we are hoping that it is connected to the rapture of the church. And so this was right after Nissan 24. Nissan 24 this year was April 15th, April 16th. Then it says, "After these things." Then it talks about a night where they went out at night and they didn't catch anything, but they caught something in the morning, and they had their encounter with Christ in the morning and the great catch of fish. Okay? Now, if we go to Stellarium, let's go over to, let's see, the full eclipse is in Darwin, Australia. What do you guys think about that? Darwin, Australia. Okay, so here is, let's go back to, April 15th. Okay. April 15th and 16th was Nissan 24, where Thomas came in and Jesus told Thomas to touch the holes in his hands and in his side. So Thomas had his encounter with Jesus on Nissan 24, 8 days after the resurrection. And then it says, "After these things." So if we go forward here, there's the total solar eclipse over Darwin at 1 o'clock Darwin, Australia time. Okay. And so as Jesus is talking about the fish on Nissan 24, this is where this sign is. Okay. This is the solar eclipse. Many people are saying this solar eclipse is in Aries. Or that this new moon is in Aries. I know that the new moon will be in Aries, but the sun is not yet in Aries. If we go forward to where the new moon is going to appear, it's going to appear in Aries, but the sun is still in Pisces. Okay. So the great catch of fish was just after Passover, just after Nissan 24. And when it says after these things, I mean, we're talking about just a few moments or days, but not weeks, I don't think, after these things. And the great catch of fish. So this would line up right here with after these things from John 21 and the great catch. Now, do you think this is a sign of the great catch? Is this the sign of the prophet Jonas? In the sea beast, the whale, and in the fish. Okay? Now, the conjunction of this with Jupiter, Jupiter is the man-child from Revelation chapter 12. So we have the sun, the moon, and Jupiter together in this sign. Very important and very, very powerful. Okay, so I wanted to just share that with you guys. John chapter 21, and when it says after these things, realize that just before this, they were at Nissan 24. So from April 15th, April 16th, after these things, the great catch of fish. I think it lines up with where we are now, exactly with this solar eclipse. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I get a kick out of these guys that say that there's no rapture this year. You know, I mean, we're hoping for the rapture, but if it says no man knows the day or the hour, then these guys are they're like doing it backwards. Because if you can't know the day or the hour, then you can't know the day or hour it won't be. So you're really shooting yourself in the foot instead of just being ready at all times, like Jesus told us, watch and pray that that day would not come on you unawares. I mean, at this stage of the game, who in the world would ever say that rapture could not happen this year? I mean, rapture could happen today, this minute, this week, this month. I don't know why anybody would say that rapture can't happen. I don't even know why a lot of these people would still be even on my channel. I mean, we're here watching for the return of Jesus Christ. We're watching for the rapture, and we're giving the signs that he has given to us. So, I mean, if rapture isn't this year, then you're really wasting your time. I mean, go get a job or something. So let's see here. Here's a sister watching with me on the Eclipse, hoping for rapture during the eclipse. Rapture watch 30 minutes before eclipse. Let's see if we can find a another live stream to follow here. Oh, it's the same one, I guess. Well, this might be the best one here. So let's keep an eye on this one here.
Time and date, we look up into the sky. We bring you exclusive footage from eclipses worldwide. We take our mobile observatory to where the action happens. Hi, Stefan.
Hi, Anna.
We collaborate with experts and observatories across the globe to bring you the best view of celestial events.
And we ordered the Devil's Horn just for you.
Now, we have to say thank you very much for your images tonight.
We explain how and show why it all happens while answering your questions during our live broadcast events.
That is a meteor.
Find your home and even more details on time and day.
So there's a couple new pieces of information that were sent here today that I wanted to share with you guys. I shared it a little bit earlier, but I hadn't shared this previous to today. Brother Chris at Born for Battle 74 sent me this. On December 29th to December 26, 2019, we had a total solar eclipse. This was midweek Hanukkah. And this was one of the most amazing signs that I had ever seen, because on midweek Hanukkah, which was the day of my sign was midweek Hanukkah. It was 12/12/12. It was also at midnight, which is another 12. And my sign was in the sun. And so I have a sun sign from Hanukkah. And on midweek Hanukkah, this sign appeared during the total solar eclipse of December 26, 2019. This formed a menorah. Okay, this was so amazing, because with the planets and the sun and the moon in the middle and the eclipse that happened, and with all the planets here, there was a perfect menorah with the sun right in the middle. And this was Venus, Saturn, the moon and the sun in eclipse, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars. So you have 1, Mars 1, Mercury 2, Jupiter 3, Moon 4, Sun 5, Saturn 6, Venus 7. A perfect menorah on midweek Hanukkah. I was really hoping for rapture on this day. This was an amazing sign. Midweek Hanukkah connected with the sign that I received on midweek Hanukkah. And so we've seen all of these connections to April 20th. Brother Chris remembered this sign, and he wanted to look it up, how far it was from April 20th, 2023. It's 1,212 days from this eclipse to this eclipse today. And 1,212 in the concordance means clear, manifest, evident. In the Hebrew, it also means a shadow. And an eclipse casts a shadow on the earth. So this was an amazing sign, an amazing piece of information. And I thank you, Brother Chris, for bringing this to our attention.
South of Exmouth, where Sony Music have organized an event to celebrate the eclipse and also to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the dark side of the moon.
I was hoping to